I don't talk about sports a lot on this channel because I'm not a huge sports fan. Yes, occasionally I enjoy a good football game or especially baseball, which is probably my favorite sport outside of martial arts. However, every once in a while, pop culture and sports comes together, and that happened just a few months ago when Deadspin allegedly defamed a Kansas City Chiefs fan who was a child, by the way, not even a teenager. They are facing some serious repercussions, especially in court. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side. Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Airy. Welcome to the StudioJake vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. Alright, like I said at the outset, I am not a sports commentator. I know names, faces, teams, but outside of that, I am not into sports culture like I used to be when I was in college. I definitely have fallen into the pop culture buzz, as you can see behind me. Now, a certain aspect of commentating on pop culture is also chastising the corporate press, the mainstream media, the state run media, whatever you want to call them. And that is something I am totally happy to do because the media, they're very powerful, especially those big five media corporations like CNN, CBS, ABC, and yes, even Fox News. They follow an important pipeline that we should all be aware of. But one of the most interesting aspects of the press is the sporting angle, and that is because they have become just as corrupt as the mainstream media or the corporate press, whatever you want to call it. For example, just a few months ago, Deadspin allowed a reporter named Karen Phillips, he prefers to be called Karon Phillips, but Karen Phillips, smear a minor because he was wearing face paint. Now, this child was a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and he was caught on camera wearing half face paint where one side was black, one side was red, and Karen accused him of wearing blackface when that was not the case at all. The parents received all kinds of death threats, and they actually proved it. It wasn't like these celebrities who are like, I got death threats, but then they don't actually show you, or if you do, it's from some anon account that has like 3 followers. No, they actually received a whole host of it. As such, they decided to sue Karen and Deadspin over this for defamation, and Deadspin just got a fumble in court. This is according to the Post Millennial. A Delaware judge ruled Monday that a defamation lawsuit against the sports website Deadspin can resume after tossing out the publication's request for it to be dismissed, the New York Post reported. The lawsuit pertains to an article that falsely accused a 9-year-old NFL fan of wearing blackface and engaging in racism due to the attire he wore to a Kansas City Chiefs game last November. I'm not going to say the boy's name, but a young Native American boy attended the game with his family, sporting a Native American headdress and painting his face red and black to support his favorite team, the Kansas City Chiefs. He was featured in a television broadcast of the game and was photographed by various news outlets in this attire. The next day, Deadspin writer Karen Phillips published an article that accused the 9-year-old of being racist. Phillips had taken a screenshot of the boy that showed only the black side of his red and black face paint and accused the child of wearing blackface. After immense backlash in support of the child, Deadspin updated the article without issuing a retraction or formal apology, the lawsuit states. Superior County Judge Sean Lugg denied Deadspin's motion to dismiss the lawsuit, rejecting allegations that the article's defamation liability was shielded by its status as an opinion piece. Deadspin published an image of a child displaying his passionate fandom as a backdrop for its critique of the NFL's diversity efforts, and in its description of the child, crossed the fine line protecting its speech from defamation claims, the judge wrote. Having reviewed the complaint, the court concludes that Deadspin's statements accusing HA of wearing blackface and native headdress to hate black people and the Native Americans at the same time, and that he was taught this hatred by his parents, are provable false assertion of fact and are therefore actionable. The family, who are of Chumash Indian heritage, began receiving death threats and hateful messages following the publication of the article. According to the lawsuit, one individual threatened to kill the family with a wood chipper. The family asserts that they have made numerous requests for Deadspin to retract the article and issue an apology, but Deadspin only edited the article, removing the child's picture but retaining the accusations of racism. The public later changed the headline from "The NFL needs to speak out against the Kansas City's fan in blackface," which included a photograph of the child, to read, "The NFL must ban native headdress and culturally insensitive face paint in the stands. We regret any suggestion that we are attacking the fan or his family," the update article read. The family were not satisfied and sued for defamations. Phillips wrote in his article that the 9-year-old boy found a way to hate Black people and the Native Americans at the same time, suggesting that Holden was taught hatred by his parents. After generating backlash on social media, Phillips doubled down on his piece. For the idiots in my mention who are treating this as some harmless act because the other side of his face was painted red, I could make the argument that it makes it even worse, Phillips wrote on X at the same time. "Y'all are the ones who hate Mexicans but wear sombreros on Cinco." The family described the writer in the complaint as someone who makes his livelihood through vicious race baiting. Elizabeth Locke, an attorney for the family, told the NYP in an email, "Deadspin and Karen Phillips have never shown a morsel of remorse for using a 9-year-old boy as their political football. The family is looking forward to taking depositions and presenting the case to a jury at trial." Now, I can already hear the chuds in the comment section. "But Jacob, what about freedom of the press? It's right there in the First Amendment, the First Amendment, the First Amendment." They were not reporting the news. Karen Phillips was not reporting the news. He saw an image, a still image, of a young child, accused him of bigotry, and said he was taught that bigotry by his parents, who happen to be people of color, indigenous peoples, as the elites in the media and the far left like to call them. Instead of using this as an opportunity to self-reflect, Karen, and by proxy Deadspin, decided to make the situation even worse, and shame on them. I hope this family owns Deadspin by the end of this lawsuit. The irony in all of this is that Karen was actually fired by Deadspin. So what happened was Deadspin was bought by a European media company, and they proceeded to fire everyone. They just wanted the name Deadspin so they could say, "Hey, listen, we have this sports outlet." Now, I don't know anything about this European media company. I don't like it when a European media company buys an American media company. I don't mind if the Europeans want to publish it in the United States or even put video out and content out. That doesn't bother me. But I do have a problem with the United States allowing a European company to buy a news media corporation. That aside, I still hope that by the end of this lawsuit, it's the family that owns it instead of those European oligarchs. I want to see justice done in this matter because Karen Phillips is a perfect example of everything wrong with the media today. He's not reporting the news. He's not giving solid opinion. He is self-righteous. He's smug. He's entitled. He's spoiled. And he sits up on his high horse looking down at those of us who are just normies and wants to wag his finger at us. He attacked a child who did nothing wrong but go to a football game with his family. Shame on him, and shame on Deadspin and the editors that let this article go out. And then the editors who didn't even issue a retraction or apology. I hope this family gets full ownership of Deadspin. I hope the Kansas City Chiefs continue to let this young man, I know that they invited him to one of their playoff games, and I believe to the Super Bowl at some point. But I hope he has Kansas City Chief tickets for life, him and his whole family, after what the media put him through. And yes, I'm saying the media as a whole, because this isn't just a problem at Deadspin. Remember what they did to Richard Jewell, what they did to Kyle Rittenhouse, what they did to Nicholas Sandmann and the other students from the Covington Catholic School. This is an epidemic in the media where they want to target just regular, ordinary citizens who are just trying to go about their lives, who are just trying to survive, who are just going to a football game to have some fun, and instead they want to just smear them in their articles. It's abhorrent and it's reprehensible. And I will be so happy when we forget Deadspin even existed. If you like that video, be sure to give it a like, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment and tell me what you think, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new video, and consider becoming a channel member. If you don't want to support me on big tech, no worries. Click on the link to my locals community. It's in the description of this video. It's kind of like a Patreon or Subscribe Star, where you can subscribe or give me tips for my articles. You can also purchase one or all of my novels. They're available on Amazon, with Cacophony and the Seven Royal series also available on barnesandnoble.com. Blessed Child is an Amazon exclusive. Pick one or all of them up. Leave me a 5-star review. It really helps out small indie creators like myself. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.